Yes, sir. We are back with another MMA card talking UFC. Whittaker versus the Ridder. Two-man booth here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel with my guy, Dan. Dan, I missed the show last week. I did not. I caught a little bit of you guys giving some winners, but how was it last week? How'd you guys do? Appreciate you guys covering for me last week while I was away.
Last week was great, man. I was like a Paulo Costa takedown short of taking it down last week. Close yet again, but guy Max came through. Huge bet on him. So anytime Max is picking up a win, it's a good time for me.
Yes, you were big on Max. Congrats to you. Paulo Costa got it done. Dan, you were supposed to say, though, JSU, it was a good card for me betting in UFC wise, but I missed you on the show yesterday. I missed you last week. I missed arguing with you. You dropped the ball though. You fucked up. That's okay. I'm going to get you today. Me and Dan will disagree a little bit, so I can't wait to get back to disagreeing with Dan. No JBC today. He is at the Golf live finals, so good luck to him in the old Golf live final. And do you know how he's doing, Dan?
I don't follow golf. I guess I could have checked that on my buddy, but yeah.
Well, I saw you messaging him in our chat, so I didn't know if if you had an idea of how he was faring.
No, I don't know. Have they started playing today? I guess they have. Golf starts early in the morning, right? This is how little I know about golf. I can't stand golf, man.
All right, I just realized that Dan doesn't even play golf, so don't even ask him any golf questions. That's fine. That's fine. I won't lie. I don't follow it like a ton. I will play, but I don't like follow it a ton. It's not my favorite sport to like follow day by day. I will watch on like Sunday though, when it's like close to finishing and stuff like that, because I like to bet it. But yeah. All right. Let's get back to the sport that matters. Everyone is watching, hopefully, for UFC takes here, picks, bets. And this card's early locked, Dan, 12 p.m. Eastern time here. So we had to get a show done, and we were like, let's just, go a little closer to lock yesterday instead of trying to jam one in last night. So we'll break down all of the fights on this card here. And let's start with the first one here to start. A lot of, favorites on this card, 9K fighters, Dan. We're going to have to kind of sift through and pick a few that we like over a few. And, they all look kind of, to me at least, like a lot of this 9K range, I don't see a ton that like stick out way more than the others. I think there's like one that I like the most, and then all the rest are kind of clumped up. And I'm kind of deciding, and it's a thin margin between these guys. But we've got a newcomer here, Marcus Boucha, 9,100 on DraftKings versus someone we know very well, Martin Buday. Buday, 7,100 on DraftKings. Not a very exciting fighter, Martin Buday is, but he is 15-2, I think, so far in his career for fighting. But he just doesn't offer you a ton when it comes to like finishing. He's kind of like a plotter, slow, just likes to kind of stick and move a little bit. So I think that's going to be key though in this fight, because Marcus is a grappler and a very high level grappler for a big boy here, Dan. So I think it comes down to me to, do you think he gets a takedown? Because if he gets a takedown, he has a very good chance of probably finishing the fight. And if he doesn't get a takedown, I think Buday has a very good chance to win a boring decision. So how do you see this fight going?
Yeah, I agree with you there. If Boucha is able to get a takedown early, it's probably a wrap. Buday's defensive wrestling and grappling is pretty much totally untested. He's had, I think, 8 fights in the UFC now, and he's defended all of 4 takedowns. So the wrestling and grappling defense is a bit of a mystery, but my assumption isn't that like it's very strong or good. So I think Boucha probably takes him down and chokes him out in short order here at 9,100. That would obviously play. Again, same problem you run into with all submission grapplers is if they win too efficiently outside of the first minute. That's like my main concern there. But also, like you said, if Buday is able to stuff the takedowns, Buchecha has shown like some concerning cardio in the past. So if Buday can extend it, if he can keep it standing, then he definitely has a good chance of picking up the upset, winning one on the feet. Like you said, Buday isn't the most exciting fighter. He doesn't really bring a whole lot of flash or finishing ability, but he knows how to pick up wins. So 7,100, low scoring win for Buday could do it. I'm gonna have a good amount of this fight. I'm like 35. No, I'm like 30s on Buchecha and like 20s on Buday. I'm looking to ruin my night early.
Yeah, I think if Buchecha wins, he's probably going to win early. Is the way I kind of look at it. Like the first takedown he gets, I think he can find a finish from there. And if this extends, I think if it extends, it means he's struggling to get the takedowns, Dan. And if that's the case, we could be looking at like a very split decision-ish fight, which probably won't score well. And if it does score well for anyone, it would be the 7,100 or whatever Buday is for, 7,100 fighter. So that's the way I see it. We're not getting really, from a fantasy points perspective, if you think Buday wins, I guess you probably like the more. But I don't see any unders. I would like an under because I do think there is a quick finish here. I'm kind of with you. I think Buchecha gets it done here early, but I was looking up the sub prop here for him. It's probably got to be like minus 110. Yeah, minus 105 on DK right now, submission. That's probably where it happens. Maybe you go like first round submission if you can get a little plus money on it. That's plus 200. So I don't mind that, but from a DFS side, I'm probably going to be lower on Buday just because I do think he loses, and probably a little higher on Marcus here. 80.5 fantasy points. A quick win gets him over that, I feel like, pretty easily. So if you like the quick win, I think you like fantasy points over on pick six.
Yeah. If you like Buchecha to win, I mean, it's probably happening in round one. And that's 90 points right there. So even a round two is 70, takedown, some grappling time. 80. Yeah. What is it? 80? 80.5?
80.5. So
yeah, I think if you like Buchecha to win, I think he's definitely beating that.
Yeah,
but
honestly, like a first or second round finish is getting you over that most likely. So yeah. I think you're pretty good there. My guy Binair in chat says check your DMs. Oh, okay. Binair, I did see you had a nice little win yesterday in the MLB streak. So shout out to you. I think you had I don't even know how much in play, $80. But Binair, you can check me on this if I'm wrong. Won $5,000 or something like that. So I'm assuming you had Mr. Kurtz, who scored 150 fantasy points in baseball. So I had 11 home runs. And somehow JSU didn't have him in his home run parlay. So kudos to you. And off $200. $200 in, $5K out. Yes, I will give away $50 to 4 people today for my win last night. You must have Venmo though. Okay, so $50. I'm assuming you want to do it for members, but you can let me know. And we can do it today at the end of the show if you want, or you can do it on the first baseball show. It doesn't matter to me. If you want to do it today, we can do it today, but you must have Venmo. I'll figure that out as we get a little later in the show. Dan, let's move to the next fight though. Here, let me just pull my stuff back up. All right. Steven Wynn, 9,200 for Wynn versus Muhammad Yaya. Yaya, 7K on DraftKings here. Win coming off of, I'm pretty sure his last fight, he was a favorite. He lost, and he got outstruck was the thing. He's a very hittable guy. He stands his ground. He likes to move forward, has decent striking. I think he's definitely going to have the edge in the striking here. And I think that's where this fight probably plays out, Dan. And I do think he can find a finish against Muhammad Yaya. Maybe a later finish though. I don't know if it's going to be super quick, like the first fighter we were talking about. I think this could extend maybe a little bit more, into the second round. But I do like Steven here, 9,200. I think he can get you some volume striking. and I think he can find a later finish. So 9,200. How do you compare him to Marcus from the last fight, and what do you think happens here?
So like you touched on earlier, up here at the top, a lot of these guys are kind of like they're inside the distance lines are very similar. They all kind of rate out very similarly. So I'm kind of just leaning into ownership here. And Win is only projecting to be about 20% owned, which makes sense to me. He seems like probably one of the more unreliable options up here. Like he doesn't wrestle or grapple. That's where Yaya is kind of the weakest. It's like Yaya is going to have the best chance on the feet because Win is super hittable himself, and he's got some power in his hands, like despite his pretty terrible inside the distance line. So I'm going to be playing a lot of both sides of this fight just because I think Win is way too big of a favorite, but also if his inside the distance line is anywhere close to accurate, then 20% is way too low on him. So I'm going to be heavy on both of these guys probably because Yaya is only projecting to come in like, what is it? Where's my ownership? I got Yaya coming in at 8%. So I'm going to be doubling that up easily.
Yeah, I do think just because of how hittable Steven is, it's like a fight where you can definitely pick both sides of. Some of these 9K fights, I do like more one side just because, like Buday, for instance, like even if he wins, he could score absolute shit in a win because he's going to be tentative about getting close to Boucha because of the takedowns. So he's not going to want to close the distance, right? He's not going to want to try and go for finishes, even though that's not his game anyways. But I'm just saying, like, he definitely won't want to do that against someone like him because of the takedown fear. Whereas Yaya, at least, I don't think like he's going to be able to like get in the pocket with this dude if he wants, whenever he wants. And we can definitely see a finish. So I do think there's some of these 9K fights where I feel way more confidently that like it just finishes, period. And this is one of them. So I can see playing both sides if you're playing 150 or even a little bit less, but getting a little bit of both sides here. But I do like Steven here. I do think he finishes it. I don't love fight time more. I wish there was less on that. Come on, we need less on these fight times. That's my favorite here. I do think Steven could get over the 60.5 significant strikes. But yeah, nothing I love here for pick 6. Dan, anything you see here before we move on?
Yeah, I think the over for significant strikes is pretty good. Win throws a ton of volume. So if he doesn't get knocked out early and if he doesn't finish Yaya too quickly, then I think he gets over that pretty easily.
And honestly, I don't think he's a tough dude. I don't think he's getting knocked out early. Like if he does, I think it's him getting worn out from getting hit a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's getting knocked out early. So I'm with you. I would like the significant strikes here on this one. Let's keep going. I'll try and get some of these chats. Exact method of victory KO is plus 130. I like that. That's a good bet. That's a nice bet there. If you don't want to pick a side and you just want to bet the fight to finish by KO plus money, I like that a lot. M. Westlake, that's a good call right there.
Christian's asking about minimum salary. I've got mine set to 49.3 today.
That's exactly what I have too. So 49.3 is where we're both at. I know JBC always talks about it. He's more in that like 49.5 type range. I feel like most times he's very when it comes to salary like that. I think we're a little lower. I think Big T goes a little lower too. Kind of near where we are, maybe a little lower than that, but. Everyone's a little different, but around there between 49.5 and 49.2 is where I would be hovering between.
Like the majority of my lineups I like to have, and this is, obviously changes slate to slate, but in general, it's like 4 favorites and 2 dogs per lineup, and usually setting around like 49.2, 49.4 will just get you there without having to.
Bluffy says, what about stacking McGee and Jan? Well,
absolutely
I'm not a big stacker. I don't think Dan is either. So we're definitely on the no when it comes to stack. Even like the 5-round like bangers where we could see like last week with Dustin and Max. Like if the,
A lot of
that went.
people were asking about that last week.
Yeah, and it didn't work out.
No, I mean, of course not.
Yeah. And even when both guys could have finished like the other, it wouldn't have worked out then either. Like, it's just like it's very, you need things to go so perfect, Dan, in those stacked fights, right? Like,
you really need like a Roy Van type fight or a short slate.
yes.
Yeah. That's just I'm pretty much never stacking fights ever.
Yeah, I'm with you, because the amount of times it hits, it's just not enough for me to worry about it. You know what I mean? It's going to hit one
Like
every like 12 cards, maybe it'll hit, but
it
not
hits
even
like once a year, maybe twice.
Yeah. Okay. So it's
just
not
not
even
gonna
it's
go-
not even that high.
I'm not going to devote any portion of my portfolio to that. Like, it just doesn't happen often enough.
Yep, I agree. Let's go to the next fight here. Ibu Aslan back after losing to my boy Kutalaba here. Submission victory for him, but Ibu Aslan back here against Billy Elekana. 7,300 for Elekana, coming off of also a submission loss to Bogdan Guskoff, also on this card here, where he controlled the most of the first round. You know, and honestly had Bogdan in serious trouble, had his back for a while, couldn't find the submission. Bogdan found his way out and then found a second round finish. And Alakana is going to be the smaller fighter, Dan, but it feels like he is a lot. Aslan's definitely going to be much bigger. He's definitely going to carry a lot of power, more power than Billy. And I do think that there is a fear that, like, you know, Billy is just too small. But if Billy can get him down early, I do think he's very live for a submission when they're dry, you know, and stuff like that. So I do think he's live if he could get a takedown. So I don't mind playing both sides of this fight. If it extends, though, I also worry that Aslan just gets tired too. So that's another factor to throw in here. But how do you see this fight going, and who do you like here for DFS?
Yeah, it's sort of similar to the first fight of the night, where it's like the favorite early or the underdog late, just because Aslan, like you said, he's got so many holes in his game with wrestling and grappling and cardio that if Elekana can find a way to survive past the first round, get into the second round, like, it's very possible that he could take over towards the end of the fight. But this is just such a physical mismatch. Like, if you look at these two guys, they don't even look like they do the same sport. You know what I mean? So I think Aslan probably comes out here, knocks him out early. 8,900 for Aslan for his knockout upside is really, really fucking good. I'm going to have a ton of Aslan. I'll play Elekana as well, just because Aslan, again, does have a ton of holes in his game. I wouldn't be shocked to see him, you know, drop one here. So I don't have quite as much Elekana as I do. Let's see what I got for these other dogs here, because I know I'm lower on him. Yeah, like, I've got more Grant. I've got more Buday. Oh, wait, no, I was looking at the wrong thing. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I've got more Grant, Buday, Yaya. Elekana, I've got like 15%. But yeah, I think this is Aslan all day, honestly. Because Elekana,
Yeah,
he stepped in.
The only thing I will say about Billy is he's quicker, and I feel like he can get this to the ground. And if he does, that's his one path. Because if this stays standing, we saw what happened with Guskoff, and I think that's what happened. So I think you either like, I think you're going to like a finish either way, honestly, Dan, in this fight. I don't think this fight hits the cards.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So good fight for DFS. I'm going to lean I'm going to take a flyer with Billy by submission. I think it's let me pull this thing up here. Where is Billy by submission? It's got to be decent.
Aslan has showed nothing on the ground, although
12-1.
12-1,
Dan. 12-1, Billy by submission. I'm taking that.
Good. That's pretty good. Although I did hear that Aslan has been training in Dagestan. So you know.
So
It's not
you're
exactly,
saying Ibu Aslan by submission at 16-1?
I'm just saying he's been working on his wrestling and grappling. I don't know how much he's been able to do in a couple weeks, but he knows it sucks. At
Well,
least
that is smart
first
though,
step to,
honestly.
first step
That
to
is smart because if you're someone like Ibu, you got to think that majority of people that you fight, unless they're going to stand and just bang with you, like want to get you down if they can, want to try and submit, like attack the hole. So trying to, figure out ways to get better at the one area he's struggling in makes sense. So yeah, I mean, take that for what you want. Dan has, and I'm going to have both of these guys for DFS because this is another fight where I do see paths for both guys. So I'm going to be playing a little bit of both these guys, but from a bet, I'm going to take the flyer on Billy by sub. Dan's got Ibu. Pick six. Dan, anything from a pick six here? Billy Elekana 19.5 significant strikes. Ibu significant strikes is very low, 29.5. Anything you see?
I think the significant strikes are low because if Aslan starts touching Elekana, it's probably over. I don't think Elekana's durability is very good. Let's see though.
Yeah.
They won't let you do the over on fight time, huh?
No, and I do like the under. Angela, I think she's right on with the under 1.5. That's a good bet. It's minus 115 on DraftKings right now. That is definitely one bet where, like, if you see paths for both these guys and you see a finish, you could just take the under and take the shot on the under. I like that as a bet. Thank you, Christine. This is why I will bet Ibu until the day of my passing. I will bet against him always. But yes, I agree with Angela's first take, which is under 1.5. Dan, anything?
I think you could do the over for Aslan 6 strikes and kind of like that. I think Elekana can survive long enough to at least absorb 30 strikes.
Yeah, me too. That's a low number. I mean, literally, that's pretty much saying, though, I mean, obviously he's got good inside the distance, but can Billy withstand and get you to 29? I think he can.
I mean, he made it to the second round with Guskoff, right? So
he did have him on the ground for like 4.5 minutes in the first round, I think. But yes, he did make. But that's a path, right, Dan? That's a path. Like, he gets a takedown early, he gets him down for most of the first round. Ibu gets up late, gets a few strikes in, doesn't finish them, and then the second round puts it on him and finishes them. So that's definitely something I could see happening here for the fight. Let's keep it moving though to the women's division here. I think it's the only women's fight on the card. Yeah, it's the only women's fight on the card. We got Amanda Ribas 8,600 for Amanda here versus Tabitha Ricci 7,600. Honestly, girls that I haven't really been backing, like both of them. I've had some ups and downs with both these girls, but I've definitely been picking against them a decent amount. I do like Amanda here, but I think this fight is very split decision-y, Dan. This just smells like a fight where both of these girls are pretty close, and I think we see a close fight in the scorecards. We come down to it after the third round, and we're like, everyone's just saying in the chat, who's winning? Anyone know who's winning? Because I don't know who's winning. I do think Amanda pulls out a close split decision, but I don't have a ton of confidence in this one. Like I said, I do think, though, it's a decision fight. What do you think here, Dan?
I'm mostly avoiding this one. I'm not a fan of Tabitha Ricci or her game, what she brings to the table. She wants to grapple. She wants to wrestle. Her takedown accuracy is terrible. She's not a finisher. She's undersized for the division. I just think Ribas is going to keep this one standing and piece her up on the feet. Obviously, if Ricci can take Ribas down, then I think Ribas is going to get up, and there's definitely a path here for like multiple takedowns for Ricci if she can get the wrestling and grappling going. I just don't think she really can. So 7,600 for Ricci. There's definitely a path for her to smash. I'm not saying that there absolutely isn't. I personally will not be using her too much because she's going to be popular. And I just, again, not a fan of her game at all. Reggie, what's up?
Reggie's saying what's up right now. He was agreeing with you, not being a fan. He was agreeing.
Right on. On the Heba side, she definitely has like the skills and should have the offensive production to score well in decisions. The thing is like she's generally either really pouring on the wrestling volume or really pouring on the striking volume, and she's never doing both or putting it all together, which always caps her upside. The one exception is her fight against Viviane Araújo, where she landed a shitload of striking volume, had a ton of takedowns, lots of control. Like the one time she put it all together, she scored what? That was definitely over 100. That was 116. I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but Ricci is undersized, and I'm not really a fan of her skill set. So I would not be all that surprised to see Hibas just completely put it on her. Again, 8,600 in this range, like she's got a lot of competition for the optimal just in this price range. There's, Mitchell, Whittaker, Krylov, Aslan, all of them way better inside the distance numbers. They produce more offense. They're more, they grapple and volume more, pretty much everybody around her, but she's going to be lower owned. We know they score women's fights more leniently. So I'm not going to go overboard, but Hibas is coming in around like, I don't know. I have her at 17. She probably comes in closer to 15. So I don't really mind getting into the lower 20s on Hibas just to get different.
That's what I have, Dan. I have Hibas lower 20s just to be a little different. I do think we could get some good striking volume out of her. We know how they judge, like you said, the women's fights a little more leniently when it comes to the striking and stuff like that. I feel like 69.5 for a fight that I feel pretty confident goes to the cards. And honestly, I feel confident this fight is more standing. I think both girls could kind of cancel it out when it comes to the wrestling and grappling. Maybe they're holding each other a little bit, Dan, but for the most part, I think we see a lot of strikes here. And I like that over for 69.5 here. I'm going to lean Hibas here for the win. Split or majority decision, Christine dropped, was plus 450. Like a little sprinkle on that too. I just throw that out there here for that. So that's about it for the one and only women's fight on the card. Let's go to the next fight. Damon Blackshear versus Davy Grant. Damon Blackshear 9K on DraftKings. Davy Grant 7,200 on DK here. Dan, I think a lot of people are going to be just jumping on Blackshear by finish, submission. I don't know. Like I think Blackshear probably wins, but honestly, I think Davy Grant's a good dog. Like I think he's tough enough to kind of. I mean, he has grappling. He doesn't show it very often, but he does have grappling. And on the feet, he's pretty solid when he wants to be. Threw a ton of strikes last time out in his win. And I think he's just one of those fighters, like especially when he's a dog, Dan. If this fight can stay on the feet, he is very more live on the feet than than people want to admit. And I'm going to take a chance with him at the dog price here from a betting angle. I do think from a DFS angle, he's not like an amazing play, but I'm still going to sprinkle him in a little bit because if he wins and he can get me like 80 fantasy points, which I think is somewhat live here, 75, 80 in a win. That plays. I don't know if it's 100% optimal, but it definitely plays here. So I like Davey here. I like taking a shot on him. He's a veteran. He's been in the octagon a lot. If he can keep this thing standing, and I think he can survive on the ground, which is the other thing I don't mind about him. But what do you think here, Dan?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. If the fight stays standing, Grant is super live. But the problem with Grant is his takedown defense, his grappling defense are both pretty weak. He can be taken down. He can be controlled. He will get up, but that kind of just makes me a little more interested in Blackshear because we can get some, rinse repeat sort of mat return takedowns. And Blackshear could really, really smash if that happens. The only thing is like, last time we saw Blackshear against, I believe, Jing Liang, right? He just decided to stand and bang and test out his hands. So, you know, you see fighters all the time just not pursue their best path to victory. Maybe Blackshear wants to test his hands out a little bit more here. If he does that, like if he dicks around and tries to compete with Davy Grant on the feet, even if it's just like for the first round or so, like he wants to feel it out, then that's going to hurt his scoring a lot, I think, because Blackshear is not really a very good striker. He doesn't land a ton of volume. You really want him shooting a lot of takedowns and pushing a really heavy grappling pace if you're playing Blackshear. But again, can't always trust guys to do the smartest, best thing. And I think that's probably Davy Grant's best path, which in and of itself is like not, it doesn't make me feel great when you're like, well, I think this guy's best chance is if his opponent fights like a dumbass. You know what I mean? But that's always on the table. That's always on the table. So like you said, 80 points for Grant in a win, 7,200, that could absolutely play on this slate.
Yeah, I like it. I think he can find a way to get a victory, sneak out a victory here. And like you said, Blackshear, if he decides to just stand with Grant, I mean, that just plays into Davy Grant so much more. So we'll see what happens. I do think, you know, Davy Grant sitting at 69.5 significant strikes. That feels, I wish they had less on that, honestly, because if Blackshear does get him down and just controls him a little bit, it could waste some time. And I think he's going to be a little more hesitant to get in the pocket because of the takedown, right? Because of the fear of the takedown or the grappling. So yeah, it's going to be kind of stick and move. I wish there was an under on that. But yeah, I don't really love anything that I'm seeing. 2.5 minutes of control time's not that much, Dan, for someone like Blackshear. Maybe that could be interesting if you like the more.
I'm kind of interested in that. I'm trying to see what I have for Blackshear's significant strikes. See, I was wanting
we got it at, where are we at? 48.5 on pick 6.
I think I would take more than that, just because if Grant is making it to the second round, if Blackshear is like doing well but doesn't get a first round finish, which I think is kind of likely, like I think Grant can survive at least long enough, I think Blackshear will be landing at least like 50 strikes.
Yeah, I could see that 100%. So either the control time or maybe the Blackshear over on significant strikes, because I don't think, I mean, Davy Grant does have the power. He could, I guess, late finish him, but I don't think he finishes him. I think if he wins, it's a decision. So I don't mind that play here. Let's go to the next fight. We got Muslim Salikhov sitting plus 410 on the line here. Money line, DraftKings Sportsbook. Carlos Leal is the big favorite, minus 550. And Dan, I really like this fight for Leal. I think it's a perfect matchup for him. Muslim Salikhov likes to stay at kicking range. He does not like it when you pressure him. He does not like it when you get in the pocket with him. He wants you to stay at kicking range. And Carlos Leal fights pretty well when he gets inside. So I think this is just set up for Leal in a victory. The question is, can he do it fast? I do think he can get a quick win here. So I do like the under. I think he can get this done in under 1.5. It's plus money right now on DraftKings. And yeah, I'm big on Leal for DFS. I think it's just a good matchup for him, honestly.
I agree. Yeah, Salikhov kind of struggles the most with what Leal brings to the table, and that's just a forward kind of pressure style. Like Salikhov wants to fight from the outside. He wants to kind of keep you at kicking distance so he can do his spinning shit. You know, we love a good spinning wheel kick, but I just don't think Leal is going to give him the opportunity or space to set those up. So I do like Leal a lot here. The only thing that's kind of holding me back a little bit is he is projecting to be the most popular option in this range. And like we talked about earlier, all these guys up here are like very, very similar. So I'm kind of just doing my leans based on ownership. And so you've got Magomedov. You've got Nguyen. Who else? Basically, Magomedov and Nguyen. I'm favoring them pretty heavily. I'll still be getting a good amount of Leal because I think he obviously has a really good chance at early finish here going against a slower, older dude with a lot of wear and tear. But yeah, just ownership is going to force me off of him a little bit. So I'm probably going to be a little bit under on Leal, but I still think he's a great play.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be over on Leal. He's going to be popular, but I do think it's warranted. I do see him getting it done. 100.5 fans, but I think that's a fair line, honestly, for him.
Definitely like mega juice to the gills, and
yeah,
we love that. So
love it.
Yeah,
so I like the under. I think my favorite play is the under. Dan, do you have a play in this fight, or are you just staying away?
I'm probably just staying away. I think Leal's round 1 number or round 2 number are both interesting, like 185, 350. I could see Leal. I could see Salikhov survive in the first round, but then eventually the pressure.
What's the round 2 number?
Plus 350.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah. I don't mind that. You could bet the under and the round 2 number, and it kind of secures you if it goes a little later than the 1.5, but it gets it done later in round 2. I could see that. Here, Christine getting some ats. Christine, if you want to go follow her, I think she posted her. Yeah, here it is. At Cage Money. If you want to follow Christine on Twitter, let's go to the next fight. Unless you have anything else, Dan, how much are you playing the Salikhov before we move on? I know you don't fade anyone, so are you just like lower than him, even though he's not going to be very popular?
Right now, I've got 15. He's projected 15? To come in at 10. I've got 15. Oh, wait, no. Sorry. That's wrong. I've got 12. I'm going to close this.
Yes, Christine. I posted this a while back on my Twitter. I'll have to repost it later. There was something that came out about certain fighters in Massachusetts, and they're not allowing you to bet. And it was just out of the blue. I'll repost it after. Dumbest thing ever. Massachusetts, just stay dumb forever, Massachusetts, because they love to do stupid shit. So, yeah, I'll repost it after. I had it on my Twitter. It was a while back. I'll have to go dig and find it, and I'll drop it in the Discord and on my Twitter. But, yeah, it's very dumb. There's just certain fighters that we're not going to be allowed to bet on, pretty much. And Peter Yan is one of them, and it has to do with their nationality. So
their relationship to certain dictators.
yes. So that is the reason. And yeah, stay dumb, Massachusetts. All right, let's keep it moving here. Not get me sidetracked onto some other bullshit.
Real quick
here.
Angela
Bryce.
Angela, what my DK name is. It's all one word. Get confident, stupid. It's a Simpsons joke.
Oh, okay. I was like, where the fuck do you get that one from? Get confident, stupid. All right, well, there you go. Let's go to the next fight here. Bryce Mitchell moving down a class in weight versus Said Nurmagomedov. God damn, that just rolled off perfectly too. Did you hear that? Said Nurmagomedov. Did you hear that? That was pristine right there. That was so good. Nurmagomedov plus 124 on the money line over at DraftKings Sportsbook. So Bryce Mitchell, a slight favorite, minus 148. I feel like that line's moved a little in Bryce Mitchell's favor. I could be wrong here, Dan. I think this is a very interesting fight because I do think Bryce Mitchell is going to still attempt his takedowns. Said is very, very tricky when it comes to a lot of those like front chokes. So you got to be really careful when you're going in for those takedowns. If he doesn't get him, though, I could see Bryce Mitchell controlling the action on the ground here. He's obviously not the best when it comes to the feet. Said likes to stay at kicking range. If they're on the feet, he's going to have the edge there. And I think that's where he wants it, right, Dan? If you think Nurmagomedov wins, he either catches Bryce in one of those chokes, one of those front chokes, or this fight plays out a lot at kicking range, and he just kind of picks him apart. If you think Bryce Mitchell wins, I think it's because Saeed failed at a lot of his submission attempts, and Bryce controlled him on the ground from there. I am going to bet Saeed at this number, him being a dog. I think this is a very close fight, but I do like him a little bit here at the plus number. Where are you at, Dan? Dan just die, or is he on mute?
Sorry, I was on mute.
That's right.
Still alive.
Get your shit together, Dan. Come on.
I'm going to be favoring the Nurmagomedov side, and it's really just mostly due to ownership when it comes to DFS. I think Mitchell probably wins this one, though. But like you said, Mitchell, he just got finished by a front choke. Saeed Nurmagomedov, super tricky with the front chokes. Bryce is going to be he's going to be shooting takedowns. He's going to be putting his neck in danger. So Saeed definitely has a path that way. He's a tricky grappler too. So even if Bryce gets him down, it's not like a given that he's going to submit him. He's very good defensively. And then once if the fight stays on the feet, or if Nurmagomedov gets it back to the feet, he's definitely the better striker here. And he's definitely got enough power to knock Mitchell out. Like, we've seen Mitchell get hurt, knocked out, submitted. Like, he's there to be finished. Possibly going down to 135. It might help. I don't know. Probably not. The one thing about going down to 135 that I do like for Mitchell is that he's very physically strong, like very, very physically strong. He's got that farm strength. And I think that strength is probably going to be a bit more pronounced down at 135. So I like both of these guys. I like it to finish. Obviously, I think there's more finishing upside on the Mitchell side, although that's not what the odds say.
Yeah, no, the odds are definitely like, if there's a finish, it's probably more Saeed than Bryce. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like, someone in chat, I want to make sure for Bryce, the sub is live. I mean, it's definitely live, because if you think he wins, like, he probably controls Saeed, and the sub attempts for Nurmagomedov are failing. So he's going to be the one. He's just he's very careful when he's on the ground. Like, he's definitely more control, but he can get a submission, so plus 400 right now on DraftKings for him. Nurmagomedov's only plus 350. So, like, you could just bet exact method to win is submission, and that is plus 165. If you think both guys are live, you could just do it that way, and you have both fighters for submission.
I think Bryce's submission line is a little wider than it should be, just because Nurmagomedov has never been submitted. But he's also never really faced anybody with the submission skills that Mitchell has. So
yeah, I mean, who like
for the first time today?
He's definitely one of the better guys he's fought when it comes to submissions and controlling on the ground. So yeah, I agree. Interesting fight. Who are you betting, Dan? Are you taking Nurmagomedov or Mitchell?
Let me see who I picked. I picked Mitchell.
There we go. All right. I figured you whenever you don't know, Dan, just assume you pick the opposite side of me. Just assume it and just say it and say,
you got Mitchell on the site. It says Mitchell decision. You might have to go change it.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to go change it then. Let me see. That'll be an error. All right. Either way, I'm betting Nurmagomedov. I'm changing it. I'm taking him. Dan's betting Bryce Mitchell. Let's go to the next fight. Oh, pick six. Dan, anything here? 35.5 significant strikes for Bryce. 34 for Saeed. Those are low.
Those are low.
Man, why do I feel like the significant strike numbers are really low today?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Are they painting the locker rooms? Do we get any?
Yeah, they might be. They might be.
People are huffing paint before they fight. Let's see. Significant strikes for Nurmagomedov. It seems low, but I've got him even lower than that. Oh, and they don't let you do less. Okay. They really got to let you do both ways on all of these.
DraftKings is sharp, man.
DraftKings is scared. is what they are.
Yeah, they are scared.
I mean, I'm inclined to kind of take the under on Mitchell's significant strikes. Just because
On Mitchell?
He doesn't really throw a ton of volume when he's on the ground. He's kind of more like trying to control you and sub you.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have him projected for many strikes. I've got him actually like sub 30. So I think less than is probably good. On the other hand, if you think Mitchell wins, obviously the over fantasy points. Nurmagomedov,
a little lay and pray card right here.
God, I hope not.
Bryce could easily lay and pray here. This could easily be a fight where he's just like wet blanket, just trying to like move through positions. And Nurmagomedov is good defensively when it comes to, submission. So he's just kind of like, they're just kind of stalling on the ground. I could totally see that. But all right, let's keep moving here to the next fight. Pull my stuff back up. Nikita Krylov, 8,700 for Krylov versus Bogdan Guskoff here. Bogdan, 7,500. Coming off of 3 straight wins, Dan, all inside the distance wins as well. Last time out against Billy by submission, and then 2 knockouts prior to that. Bogdan's got good hands, and Krylov, I mean, this dude, he just runs at you. He just runs at you, no fear, and he's got chin issues, Dan. He can get clipped. He can get put out. And I do think Bogdan at this number right now, I mean, he's 7,500 on DraftKings. He's plus 164. I like him as a dog. I think he's definitely a dog, one of my, favorite dogs on this card, I think, because I see a clear path for him, and I see Krylov with chin issues. So if Krylov's not getting him down and holding him down, which he showed in his last fight, I mean, he had his back taken. They were dry in the first round for how many minutes, and he just didn't panic. He found his way. He took his time, found his way out, and then he got back to the feet and was whooping on him. Like, that could easily happen here. So I like Bogdan in this fight. Even if Krylov gets him down early, I think he can withstand early and then find a finish later. So I'm on the Guskoff side. Where are you at on this fight?
I'm all over Krylov from a betting standpoint. I think Krylov wins. The levels of competition are just not even close. Guskoff has looked good, but he's been crushing cans. Ryan Spann in round 2, who can't do that. Took him till round 2 to finish Elekana. We'll see Elekana earlier today. I don't think that is going to age particularly well, not getting him out of there in the first. Zach Pauga, I believe he got taken down multiple times and then ultimately submitted by Volkan Oezdemir, which, Oezdemir is a kickboxer. He's not a wrestler or a grappler, so that's a really bad look. He just has a lot of holes in his game. He's got really sick power, and he can definitely find Krylov's chin. Krylov brutally knocked out 3 months ago, but that's more or less his only path. And Krylov also cracks like a motherfucker, and he's got sick wrestling and grappling. So if Guskoff isn't knocking Krylov out early, I think Krylov takes him down. I think he rolls.
All right. It takes him down. Do you think he finishes by sub, or do you think he gets him by KO?
I think he submits him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you like Krylov, I would go submission too. I definitely see this fight finishing. Me and Dan are on opposite sides. I like Guskoff. Probably a later round KO, but I like him by finish. Dan likes Krylov by finish.
To be clear, I've got, about 28% Krylov and 35% Guskoff, because Guskoff is just quite clearly one of, if not the best dog on the board, just from.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is quite clearly one of the better DFS fights on the entire card.
Absolutely.
Because both guys are super live. No matter who you're betting, both guys are live. They both have a path. The paths are opposite, right, Dan? So it's either like, Krylov gets him down and just pounds on him and finishes him, or Bogdan keeps it standing and finds the chin, most likely.
Yeah, someone's gonna die, and the other guy is gonna absolutely smash. So I want a ton of this fight.
So for DFS, me and Dan definitely agree. Jam this fight, get over. I mean, I'm definitely going over on 17 and a half significant strikes. That number's just, if he's not down, he's getting over that number. Like for sure. If you like Bogdan to win, that's an over. And Krylov,
I think I've seen Guskoff land a 17 strike combo before. So
yeah. And I think if you like Krylov, 1.5 takedowns more, I mean, you got to think
it's a little dicey. It might only take 1 takedown.
Oh yeah, you're right. It might only take 1 takedown.
My concern.
Okay, maybe just the more on fantasy points then. If you like Krylov. Yeah. So all right. What's the I just want to see because Bogdan's got pretty good inside the distance too, right? Yeah. His KO number plus 240. I like that. By
far the best inside the distance. Now I have plus 200 at another book.
Dude, the thing with Bogdan is he will get his back taken. Like he's gotten his back taken multiple times. Billy took his back really easily. I think Ryan Spann took his back, but then fell off or he like reversed it. The one thing I will say though is he has found a way out of really bad positions early in fights. Bogdan has. So if you think that continues, then yes, Dan's pretty much saying like the level is different and he doesn't think that continues. If Krylov takes his back, it's probably over. I'm thinking Krylov's chin is just completely dusted. And if Bogdan catches him, one shot can put him out. You know what I mean? Like just one shot. So
yeah, Krylov brutally knocked out 3 months ago, and he was coming off like a long injury-related layoff. I think he's like defected from Ukraine to Russia. He might be in Russia's military. I don't know, man. Massachusetts must not have gotten word of that because you can still bet Krylov there. But
Massachusetts must not have gotten word. I don't know what it is. I'm cool with it though because I just want to bet these fighters. I don't give a shit where they're from. I just want to bet them. Is that a fucking crime here? Seriously, can we not just
Massachusetts?
Yeah, Massachusetts. God, I live in this shit state. All right, Dan got me sidetracked. Let's keep it rolling here. Asu Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. This, Dan, is a pick'em fight right now on DK Sportsbook. Minus 110 here. Over 2.5 is minus 215. They like this fight to get over. Asu is, a really good fighter, honestly, but the price was just wrong last time out against, I'm pretty sure it was Manel Kopp.
Yeah.
And, I'm pretty sure we all loved Manel Kopp. He got it done. But Manel Kopp on the striking level, he is just so elite with his striking and defensive striking too. But, Jose Ochoa is definitely a step down from Manel Kopp, but Jose Ochoa is really good. So it just depends, how good do you think Asu is? You know what I mean? Like that's where this fight is kind of like dicey. It's like, do you think Asu is still closer to that level? I do think his grappling is, his striking is so-so. It's not amazing. And I think Jose Ochoa has a gap there. So, it just depends, how wide is the gap on the ground. Can Ochoa defend on the ground? If you think he can, I like him on the feet. So, this line being what it is, this is telling me Jose Ochoa like all day. So I'm betting Ochoa here, and I'm going to have more of him in DFS. But if you think Asu gets the takedowns, he's definitely a good DFS play with his style of heavy wrestling and grappling here. So I could see you playing both sides of this fight. But I'm betting Jose. Dan, where you at here?
I'm definitely on the Ochoa side. Almabayev, obviously, he's always got multiple takedown upside, but he's another guy who he's, a straight up liability on the feet. He pulled the Chelsea Chandler last time. He was like running away from Manel Kopp, which, man, I can't imagine like the mindset of your flight response takes over, but you're in a fucking cage, like locked in a cage with someone who's trying to take your head off. Like, that must be horrible. But yeah, not very good on the feet. His lack of striking volume really, really holds him back. When he basically needs multiple takedowns, tons of control, a submission to score well. And I don't think any of that is going to come too easily against Ochoa. Last time Ochoa faced Durden, and we were kind of like, okay, well, if Ochoa can keep the fight standing and have some good defensive wrestling and grappling, then he can piece Durden up on the feet. And that's exactly what happened. And I think it's pretty similar here. So I think this is a bit of a stiffer test because I'm not really a Cody Durden fan. I felt like the age discrepancy was really a factor in that last matchup, but all the same, I favor Ochoa in this match and for DFS just because he's also the more aggressive and violent party here. I lost your audio.
No, my dog just threw up. My dog just threw up. Oh, there he goes again.
Our animals are
there he goes. All right, I'm gonna have to clean that up in a second, but that's all right. I'm with you, Jose Ochoa. I do like taking a stab on the KO. I will say Asu is pretty durable. So, like, you know, he got finished by Kopp, but it was the third round, and you know, Kopp is elite striker. So I don't want to take that too much into account. You know what I mean? I think Jose's really good. I think his striking's really good. I think he can find.
Decision. I think the fight probably does go to decision, which is why, as much as I love Ochoa and he's only 8,200, his inside the distance line is just not really strong enough.
Plus 300, Dan. Plus 300 inside the distance. So,
even worse than what I have in my own sheet. But I think this likely goes to decision and misses the optimal, but all the finishing upside is on the Ochoa side. So I'm going to be playing probably around 20s of Ochoa in the event that he's able to finish Almabayev. And Almabayev is projecting to be one of the most popular fighters on the entire slate. So I'm pretty much always under on Almabayev because I really don't like playing these guys who are reliant on multiple takedowns and control and don't throw any strikes and don't really finish.
Okay, Felix Burner, Reggie throwing up at the thought of Asu winning. Yeah, maybe he might have thrown up at the thought of that. I think if you like Asu here, then the control time. I think if you like Jose, I'm with Dan on the decision, and with the decision, I think 42.5 significant strikes, the over hits there. So I do like that for Jose Ochoa. And I like the decision at plus 300. I'm with Dan on that as well.
VIP's in our MMA chat in the Discord saying that he keeps getting so much Almabayev. So he might be even more popular than I have him projected. I feel like these like chain wrestler grappler guys always come in quite a bit higher than I have them projected for. So just another thing to keep in mind.
I mean, on DraftKings, it's so elite when you get that guy who's just getting all those takedowns and control time just from the scoring perspective. So I can see people getting a ton of Asu here, and I'm going to be under on that for sure. I'm going to be under on that. Let's go to the next fight where I do believe we see a murder. Not an actual murder, but a murder in the octagon. Here, we've got Magomedov, 9,600 on DraftKings versus Marc-Andre Barriault, 6,600 here. I mean, Dan, this fight is finishing. It's finishing early. And, you know, I think for DFS, if you're 150ing, I wouldn't just straight fade Barriault. They definitely gave Shara a perfect matchup, in my opinion. They gave him someone that he can put out, and Barriault, someone who's going to offer an exciting fight. Like, I don't see this fight going to the cards at all. So it's just, do you think Shara can finish him? I'm not the biggest Shara fan. Everyone knows this. I pretty much bet against him the last couple fights. I was wrong a few fights. He lost against Page, clearly. But, you know, against guys where you're just striking, that's where, you know, he should win this fight, and he should win it pretty easily. I do think he wins. It's just a question of how quick does he win at 9,600.
Yeah, that is the question, because I think he definitely gets Barriault out of there. Barriault historically had really good durability and cardio, and his game is kind of predicated on weaponizing his cardio, but lately the durability just isn't there, and he hasn't had the chance to take the fight into a later round or drag anybody into deeper waters. Like you said, Barriault's not really looking to wrestle or grapple, which these are the type of matchups that they keep giving Shara. They're not going to give him a wrestler or grappler. Like, Shara was basically a fence grab away from getting taken down and beaten by Andre Chikoli, who is fucking terrible at everything. So,
dude, and Andre Chikoli took that fight on short notice. Like, he had like a round
around the world.
He had a round and a half in him, pretty much.
Yeah, he was cutting weight on the plane, and he still almost took him down. And I really do truly believe that if he took Shara down in that moment, he would have submitted him. And that would have been it for like the Shara bullet hype train. But 9,600 is going to keep a lot of people away. So, and his inside the distance number isn't, it doesn't really blow you away. It's really good. Minus 165. Like, that's strong, but there are stronger comparable options priced cheaper. So that's going to keep people off of Shara. And Shara isn't usually a guy that I'm looking to get over on, because he's usually really popular and he's super one-dimensional and just like needs an early finish. But this is such a good matchup. He's only going to be like moderately owned. So I am regrettably going to be playing a ton of Shara here. And then, like what you said earlier, I'm also going to be sprinkling in some Barriault, although I don't think I'm as high on him as you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like super high on him. I think you should keep him in your pool. Like, I think I've got like 5 or 10% of him, but I think for DFS, you should have like a little bit of him. So yeah. And I mean, it's plus 1,200 to win by KO. Like, he's going to go out there and try to knock this dude's head off. Like, that's what he does. So
he will try.
Yeah, he will try.
But he'll probably end up getting himself knocked out. It makes me like Shara even more, just because Barriault, he's going to march forward and he's going to want to throw down, but I just don't think he has the durability to really fight like that anymore.
I agree. And minus inside the distance number minus 150 on DK right now. So a little better odds on DK, minus 135 for Shara to finish by KO. If you like that, I do think he probably gets over on that 95.5, because the way Marc-Andre Barriault fights, he just fights like, dude, he's going to come forward and he's going to try and put your lights out or get his lights put out. And I think that's what happens. So, like the over on that. Yeah, let's move to the next fight here. I always forget, because on my sportsbook app, Dan, they don't have the Yan fight. So every time I scroll, I'm like, where's the Yan fight? And it's just not there. But Peter Yan, 9,300 on DraftKings versus Marcus McGee, 10-1, 6,900. Big step up for old Marcus McGee on a nice 4-fight winning streak in the UFC. But let's be honest, Dan, and I think Marcus McGee is a good fighter, but who he has fought up to this point, not on the level of old Peter Yan. So this is an interesting fight here. I do think that Peter Yan wins. I think he wins pretty handily, but I also think it's probably a decision, a win. I don't see this fight finishing personally. I think Marcus can survive, I guess, is more the point. I did like the under that, I forget, someone in the chat posted it earlier, of the significant strike line for Marcus McGee. I definitely like that play. I'm going to try and find it. It might not be on my pick 6 though, because I probably can't. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I can actually. Can't go under on that, but
you found
if you can go under, like on the sportsbook apps, I would like the under here. The line he posted was 75. It's 66.5 right now on pick 6. I still like that. JSU, are you taller than Yan? Yeah, I am taller than Yan, actually. Fuck you, Steve Boynton. Damn you. How many drinks has Steve had today? It's 11 a.m. I bet he's already had like 6 drinks, or he's drunk from the night before and he's just booting and rallying, Dan, to the next day for the 12 a.m. card.
Dude, that's the
Probably
way to do it.
watch the Cubs. Who knows? Shout out to Steve Boynton, even though he's trying to make fun of my fucking height. He called me handsome earlier. I saw that.
Steve does it like a pro. You can't get hungover if you stay drunk.
Yeah, that is true. That's a good point right there, Dan. That is a good point. And thank you, Angela, for having my back here. Appreciate you. So, Dan, what are you thinking with this fight from a DFS aspect? Because, again, I don't love the finish here. I think Peter Yan wins. I feel pretty confident in that. But how does that play at 9,300 with other good fighters? This is what I was talking about, where I don't feel like there's a massive difference after like my favorite 9K fighter almost all the way through.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like this fight for DFS, really. I would like McGee more if I thought that he stood a chance. And I guess he does. I mean, the odds imply that he does have a chance. And we say it all the time, it's like cage fighting. Anything can happen. Anyone can win. But this, to me, you mentioned McGee's level of competition coming into this. Like, this is such a massive step up for him, a massive step down for Yan. I really don't even understand this booking. I don't know why Yan would take this fight. It does nothing for him. It's just like all risk from Yan's side, because if he loses here, his title aspirations at the very least are going to be set back, if not completely fucked. So
he's got to just like want to fight, and no one wants to fight him right now or something.
Yeah, it's really weird. But Yan's an elite technical striker, but his inside the distance line, I have it at like plus 350 right now. That's not going to do it at 9,300. He's a really slow starter in round 1 as well. So in 3 rounds, he's just not putting up the kind of volume that you need to be optimal at 9,300. He does wrestle from time to time sporadically, like depending on the matchup. But the interesting thing about Yan is in all his most heavy wrestling performances, he's losing. So I'm not really looking to bank on any wrestling volume from Yan. I think this one probably plays out majority on the feet. I'm going to be really light on Yan. You can play Yan if you just, I guess the thought behind playing Yan for me, because I'll still have probably like 10-15% of him just to have him. If you think this is way too big of a step up in competition for McGee and Yan just gets him out of there early, I guess that's viable. But McGee's yet to be knocked out despite low level of competition. We've seen him take some shots. So yeah, I don't know. I'm mostly staying away from this one for DFS.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'm going to stay away from both sides, honestly, and just hope that like Peter Yan doesn't just go crazy with volume and somehow get there that way. So I'm with that, Dan. I do like the over on significant strikes for him as well, just because I don't think it finishes. I would like the under on McGee if you can find that on the sports books. I would like the under for significant strikes on McGee, and we're both lower from a DFS side. So let's get to the final fight on the card. We are going to give away shout out to Binair, who took down, it's like $200 in entry fees in MLB last night, took down like just over 5K, I think, in MLB. He wants to give away $50 to 4 Run Pure Sports members. So I will do that towards the end. We'll have to think of something, Dan, maybe MMA related. And you'll have to post in the live show chat in Discord when we think of it, so we know you're a member. And yeah, you just have to have Venmo, though. That's the only thing. Need to have Venmo. That's the only thing there. But let's get to the last fight here. Robert Whittaker versus Rene de Ridder. De Ridder 40 and a half significant strikes. Robert Whittaker 53 and a half on pick 6. And 8,400 for Whittaker. De Ridder sitting 7,800 on DraftKings. This is, at least for De Ridder, definitely a step up. Robert Whittaker has been fighting absolute studs, whether he's winning or losing. He's been fighting the elite guys for a while now in this division. And, honestly, the weird part about Robert Whittaker is a lot of his losses recently have come to guys where like there's kind of bullies, right, Dan? Like they just kind of like bully you. And they aggressively just go for the takedowns too. Like Duplessis, when he wants to, just can bully you for a takedown. Chimaev, we all know what Chimaev did. De Ridder, he's a little more patient, I feel like, but he will bully at times. So it is kind of interesting here. If you think De Ridder is, that level, because it is a step up and he's closer to that level, I do think there is a path for him, whether it be on the ground or he did show in the stand-up that he can be dangerous in the last fight. So I kind of like De Ridder here. I think from a fantasy perspective, though, he also has massive upside just from the takedowns and his style of fighting. So it is fun. But there is, some scares. Obviously, Robert Whittaker does have power. He showed that against Ikram last 2 fights ago where he just put him out early, and that was it. So this could be another play of that, Dan, where some guy comes in, he's got the height, and then he just stops him in his tracks. But I'm on the De Ridder side. I think De Ridder can get this thing done, and I'm going to be heavier from a DFS perspective on him as well, just with the dogs in play. But I like this fight for DFS. I think if you're not like just jamming one side, you should probably play a little of both. But I'm going to be jamming the De Ridder side. What about you?
Christian said, oops, I just bet Whittaker. I believe JBC is on Whittaker, so you're not in bad company.
Yes, he is.
There.
Yep,
not in bad company if they're on Whittaker. Personally, though, I'm taking De Ridder. For me, it is about a lot of it has to do with the size and physicality. You've got RDR, who has competed up at heavyweight before, and you've got Whittaker, who has competed down at welterweight before. So just their frames, there is a really big discrepancy in size and physicality. And RDR, he's going to be a bit outmatched on the feet here, but he's going to be looking to take Whittaker down and smash him, submit him, and Whittaker can be taken down and submitted. So I think that's going to play into this one really heavily. I think RDR is also just a way better DFS play. He has more ways to score well. He wrestles and grapples heavily. He's got power in his hands. We obviously just saw him finish Bo Nickel with a nasty knee to the body. And I think RDR is maybe just a kind of a tad bit. I know he's got a lot of hype, but I think he might be underrated to an extent, because I see people always bring up the fight with GM3 and how he kind of went tooth and nail with GM3. Keep in mind, whenever the UFC brings over a guy from another promotion, they match him up about as tough as they can. They're not trying to get the new guys a win right off the rip, because they're trying to be like, look, the guys we have in the UFC, they are the best. So what they do is they match you up really tough your first fight in the promotion, and then they make it easier. So he won. He won his first fight in the promotion against an opponent that, the matchmakers looked at and said, GM3 is going to give him just about all he can handle. So I really like the way he matches up with Whittaker here. Whittaker, just in general, I believe I was on him pretty heavily in the Aliskerov fight when people didn't really want to play him because he's not really much of a finisher. He's going to a lot of decisions, and he's not really putting up a whole lot of striking volume, and he doesn't really look to wrestle or grapple offensively. So I definitely have ceiling concerns for Whittaker, even in a win here. He's got 5 rounds to work, but I think without a finish, he could possibly win and miss the optimal. And RDR has only ever been finished by Anatoly Malkin, who is a heavyweight. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I've got concerns about Whittaker's ceiling, and I'd like RDR to win here. So I'm going to be really heavy on RDR. I'm going to be like 70% RDR. My approach the last few weeks has just been, instead of kind of splitting exposure on these main events, even the close ones, I'm just kind of picking a side and going for it.
I like it. I'm with you. I am going to be picking the side of RDR with you and going with it. So I like that a lot here. Don't see anything I love for pick 6 in this fight from a significant strikes. I should have got the all. Why didn't I just do the all? I do think the Ridder over 70.5 fantasy points is interesting, or control time. Only thing I worry about with control time is if it was quick. Takedowns 1.5, I think, is good. So I do like a couple of those there. If you like the Ridder, if you like Bobby Knuckles, then I think he wins the striking exchanges. So you could go over on significant strikes for sure, because I think that is his edge, right, Dan? If he had the edge for him is definitely standing, I think.
For Whittaker,
yeah. So that's where I would look if you wanted to do that. All right. So before me and Dan give away our favorite bet of the day and go from there, I talked about it, but Benair posted his screenshot in the MLB chat. Here's how you can win $50. He's going to pick 4 people that are members in the Discord for $50. Remember, as long as you have Venmo, this is what you have to do. Right now, you are going to go in the live show chat and you are going to type the last name of his 3 highest scoring players. He posted his winning screenshot in Discord in the MLB chat. I just looked it up. The last name of his 3 highest scoring players. Go now.
Go.
Tell me who the last name of his 3 highest scoring players were on his winning lineup last night. He posted it. First place for 2,500. Being there, and he posted his lineup in chat. The 3 highest scoring players. I mean, we all know the obvious one. You don't even have to look for the obvious one, but maybe the other 2 might think about it a little bit. So if you're a member, live show chat, get in there now, post it, and let's see if anyone can get that quickly. So that's how we'll pick. The first 4 people to post it are the winners, and we'll go.
I kept getting home run notifications about Kurtz, and I thought that Underdog was sending like double notifications. I was like, yeah, I fucking know. And then it would be another one like 4 home runs. I was like, what the fuck? What is going on?
Yeah, got to have Venmo if you remember. Got to have Venmo.
Highest baseball score ever? Possibly. I feel like I remember Adolis had.
You got to post all 3 of them, Myers. Come on, got to post all 3 of the guys. Okay, so let's see here. I think we've got the winners here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got the winners. All right. So looking at this now, if you didn't put the pitcher in there and you just posted the 3 highest scoring hitters, then you're wrong. You got to put the pitcher in there too, because he outscored the hitter, unfortunately. Kurt Schwarber and Matthews is the right answer. Someone somehow picked the right answer here. Oh my goodness. Dan, I didn't think this was going to be as hard as it looks. We got 1, 2, 3. Okay. Nope. 4. Okay. Dolmeg here. All right. I got it now. I wanted all 4 of them at the same time. Joe Cole. Joe Cole finally got it. All right. We got our winners here. I had to find them. Matthews, Kurtz, and Schwarber were the right answers. So those are the right answers. Matthew, Kurtz, and Schwarber. So if you're the first 4 people that picked it, Benair is going to Venmo you. Benair, I will let you know the winners in your DM, and then you can DM them. Remember, you have to have Venmo. So when Benair DMs you, make sure you have Venmo, and I'll get it for you. Yeah, Christian, I looked at yours and I was like, oh man, he posted the hitters, not the pitcher. You didn't say you had to post all the players. I said literally type the 3. Dan, did I not say the last name of the 3 highest scoring players on his lineup? That's all I said, right?
I'm proud. Yeah, I believe you did.
Yeah. Pull the tape, Myers. Pull the tape. I said it. Unbelievable.
Massachusetts residents are not eligible because of Benair's connection to the Russian government.
Myers, I did say it, and it was very clear. I literally said the 3 highest scoring players. Myers says, "Blow me." Nah, I'm good. All right, Dan, you have a favorite bet on the slate today before we get out of here?
I do. Let me pull it up. Let me see what I got here. Give me Jose Ochoa, man, at even money.
Ooh, you going Jose Ochoa money line? Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Dan put his balls on the table on a pick 'em. I like that. I'm gonna go with. I want to say Guskoff and just give a dog here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Guskoff money line. Fuck it. We'll roll with it. We'll take a dog. We'll take a dog shot here on
We got nuts
Guskoff.
on the table's best bets today.
Nuts on the table's best bets. So that'll do it for the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, lock time, 12 Eastern. So get those lineups in now. You got about 35-ish minutes till lock. So make sure you get those in. Get over to Rump Your Sports. Check us out. Get in the Discord. If you do sign up, RPS 15, get you 15% off your first payment over here for any monthly, weekly, whatever you want to do. Try us out before football. Football's coming quick. First preseason game, I think, is what, like a couple days or something like that? I don't even know, but it's coming quick. So once it comes, Dan, it's going to just spiral. Preseason into regular season, we'll be ready to roll. So I hope you guys enjoyed this early show, and that's going to do it. We'll see you guys next week. For Dan and myself, good luck in your DraftKings, DFS, and bets. We'll see you guys Saturday. Until then, we're out. Peace.